Okay, I'm with a guy by the name of Eric Barth. How you doing, Eric?
Fantastic, Jim.
Eric and I have known each other, I don't know, I'd say somewhere between 15 and 20 years. We are both Keller Williams agents, and I love interviewing top people in the real estate industry. And I'll tell you why I want to interview Eric. You know, I've been a realtor for 27 years, and I have been a member of 3 different BNI chapters. BNI is phenomenal for real estate agents, as it is for a lot of other industries. But I've met thousands of people, obviously, in 62 years of life and 27 years as a real estate agent, and being in three different BNI chapters over those years. But Eric, you are without question the best networker I've ever met, and that's not an exaggeration. So that's the reason I wanted to interview. Eric's KW agent. He's a BNI. Not only is he a BNI member, but he is the president of his chapter, which he started. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. And he is also a director, a new chapter director, I think it's called.
Launch director, yeah.
Launch director, yes, yep. Launch director, which is an awesome opportunity for anybody, not just for you. That's why I'm excited to be getting your word out across the country. And Eric, like me, also has been using BannerSeason. So we're going to just talk briefly about all 3 of those. So Eric, just if you can, I know you started as an appraiser, and then you kind of got your license. You did full-time appraisal work for a while. But when you got your license and you chose to go full-time, what made you choose Keller Williams?
Well, Jim, I'd been licensed to sell real estate actually before I even got an appraisal license and did my apprenticeship way back in 2001. And I was, when 2008 hit, I decided I needed to learn how to sell property a little bit more. And so I started to sell more homes, working primarily with buyers, because I was doing about 300 real estate appraisals per year, selling 10 to 12 houses, and thought my return on investment was going to be best in the real estate world. Why did I pick Keller Williams? Well, you were one of the factors, and also a person that we've both worked with before, Michelle Mamo, big time hitters, and yourself included, and you're at KW, and I always say success leaves clues. And so it made me look into Keller Williams, and Keller Williams was really, I didn't have the best taste for real estate agents at that time, even though I had a real estate license. But I thought I kind of was a know-it-all appraiser maybe. But then I really started to shift my perspective and see how folks like yourself and Michelle were getting things done. And I said, it's best to ask you questions. And so I've kind of been being mentored by you and then by Michelle on, what it takes to become a heavy hitter real estate agent.
Yep. Well, in Keller, just so for any agent who's not with Keller, who may or may not know this, Keller is #1 in the country in sales, above all other companies, #1 in the country in agent count. Keller has been ranked the #1 training company in the country, not real estate training, of all industries. Keller's #1 training by Training Magazine. And Keller, last year, it was the #1 happiest company to work for by Forbes, those are all pretty amazing things. And I had been with 5 different companies before I came to Keller. So if any of you are watching this and you want to learn more about Keller, contact Eric, and we'll get to that too. But next, I'd like to ask you about BNI.
Sure.
I mentioned that I was with 3 different BNI chapters over the 27 years that I've been a licensed realtor. And I think most realtors don't understand the power of a BNI seat for a real estate agent. I mean, it really is. I think it's probably the most valuable seat in BNI. And you have been in BNI. You, like I, are into other things. You have a couple side businesses like I do. And you were in BNI with me in one of those side businesses, which we don't need to talk about here because we're talking about BNI. But you understood the value of, you couldn't get in that chapter as a real estate agent because we already had one. And that wasn't me either. That was another lady, Sarah. But so what you did was you created your own chapter. And I want you to talk about that a little bit, only because I know I've talked to real estate agents across the country, and they say, yeah, and I coach realtors, and they say, Jim, I'd love to get him in a BNI chapter, but they're all full and there's waiting lines. So I want you to explain what you did and how you did that, so other people know no matter where they are in the country, they have that opportunity.
Well, I joined BNI 6 years ago, like you said, in a side business. And then eventually I ended up becoming the president of that chapter. And what I found, though, through my real estate business, I was able to refer quite a bit of people in my chapter. And so they ended up making me president. You know, you end up being an influencer within the room by adding value to other people. And I boosted up with that. And I think some of the BNI folks had taken note in Southwest Ohio, Northern Kentucky, which is the region that we're in. But I also knew that I was spread too thin professionally, and I really just needed to hone down and focus solely on my real estate business and make that my main priority. And I knew in order to do that, like I said, they had a fantastic real estate agent, as we both know, in there, and that was her spot. And within BNI, you have one profession, one member, one profession. You lock out your competition. And so I went and started my own BNI chapter. And typically, the way BNI chapters start, they start with firm. And I'll explain that it is a finance guy, an insurance guy, real estate person, or a mortgage person. Those are basically how chapters start. And with those people, it kind of grows all the other businesses around it. But they are the businesses that are mainly the heavy hitters in BNIs that can get chapters launched. So my recommendation would be, you can find BNIs are all over the country. They're all over the world, in fact. You can find a region wherever you may be and find out who the launch directors are and just contact those folks and see what it takes on some of these interest meetings to get started, to get the ball rolling. But think about firm, finance, insurance, real estate, and mortgages. And those people in your real estate business, you're going to be surrounded by those people, and they're good referral partners for you to have. And I always tell people my best referral sources are my current clients, past clients, and then I go into BNI. And then that's where I get more new clients and then past clients. And then the circle just keeps going. And the best way, though, if you surround yourself with really good people and competent referral partners, you become a resource for all of your clients constantly. And, I have people that call me. I've sold them real estate. They're not in the market right now, but they are asking me for, who would you recommend? And that is, that's the goal.
I call Eric all the time. I call you, and it's not for either appraisal or real estate. If I have a client who needs some kind of work done, I'll call Eric because, like I said, Eric truly is the best networker I know. So I'll call you and say, Eric, who should I recommend for whatever service my client's looking for? But and I don't know if there are any statistics, but from my background, from my 3 times in BNI, if I had a guess, and this is a guess, this isn't, and if you know one, great, say it, but I would be willing to guess that the average realtor in a BNI chapter that I know of gets between 10 and 30 deals a year just from that chapter.
Well, speaking to that, I formed and founded the chapter that I'm in now to be 3 years ago in May. And my goal, for my own goal going in, was I wanted BNI to be 25 to 35% of my entire income. And each year that I have been in, since I've been solely the real estate agent, I have accomplished that. Things go up and down here, but I wanted to be well within that was my goal. That was my expectations going into it. Yep. And I've hit those goals. So wherever you are in your business, you can grow into that, I believe.
Absolutely. And a lot of people are reluctant to join BNI because of the upfront cost. And I don't know, I'm going to guess it's around $600 or $700 for the first year. But think about that as a realtor. We're going to make on a deal, we're going to make at least $3,000. Probably our average commission nationwide is, I think it's around $7,000 now. Is it worth spending $600 or $700 to get 5, 10, 20 deals a year? It's a no-brainer for a real estate agent. So anyway, BNI is phenomenal. If you guys haven't thought about it, give it some thought, look around. If you can't find a chapter, feel free to contact Eric. He's going to give you his contact information here a little bit. And the last thing I wanted to ask you, Eric and I both also use this awesome marketing company called BannerSeason. And just a minute or two on how you use that and how it's changed your business or how it's brought business to you.
Well, first off, I've read your book, Jim. And so your book that you have explaining specifically for real estate agents in my business for sale by owners, for expired listings, I also use it for gifts, mementos of folks after we close on properties. It's stuff that they will always keep. I've used it though if I have people right now in our market, which in a lot of markets, there's a shortage of inventory in a lot of places. And so I prospect and find that people that are potentially going to sell their home, or I have clients that are looking to move into a certain neighborhood, and I will literally go out, take a photo of the front of the house, send that potential seller, homeowner, some products of BannerSeason, which I've used the gigagram now, which is the gigantic postcard it has a picture of their house on it, on the envelope. I mean, they're going to open it. Have I batted 1,000 on it? Absolutely not. But I'm going to tell you, with consistency, which I'm not always as consistent with it as I should be, but I've done really well with it. Even in neighborhoods where I've gone and done just listed and just sold, I'll go up and down the block and just say, for instance, there's a home that's sold in their neighborhood. I will take a picture of that house and I'll send out 50 postcards to everybody up and down that block and just say, hey, this house just sold for X amount of dollars. And I'm off. I did that one time, that was a year or so ago, this particular street. That one mailing turned into 3 sales.
Wow.
It was probably $600,000-$700,000 worth of property sold right there.
It's
and it
phenomenal.
was from one mailing. And it's just, what I love about it, it's a system. It's very simplistic. And that's what the best thing about it is. Yeah.
Well, we're going to wrap this up here. So if you want to talk to Eric, truly, sales is all about networking. You can, and I actually wish I had met Eric 27 years ago when I was first into, because I did really well, but I made most of my money in real estate by prospecting for sale by owners and expireds. And that's a great way to do it. And I have that in my book. But, repeat and referral business is a whole lot easier to get than FSBOs or expires. So anyway, you are the champ at that, Eric. And so if anybody wants to contact you regarding either networking, how to join a BNI group, or how to start a BNI group, or if you're a realtor with another broker and you'd like to talk to somebody about Keller Williams, contact Eric. And also, if you've never heard of BannerSeason, you'd like to check that out, contact Eric. And what's the best way for these people to contact you, Eric?
Well, number one, you can Google me up, Eric J Barth. My website is ericjbarth.com. You can email me at eric@ericjbarth.com. And then my phone number is 859-912-2104. Feel free to text, call, whichever the best way for you to communicate is. So,
thanks so much for being on here with us, Eric, and I will see you soon.
Hey, thanks, Jim.